The restaurant buzz of the quiet hum of wealth, low laughter, the clinking of crystal glasses. Conversations masked in polite decorum, but heavy with unspoken power. Mia Carter moved through it unnoticed, a phantom in black slacks and a pressed white blouse, balancing a tray as she wove between tables. A journalist by trade, a waitress by necessity, at least for now. She wasn't here for the paycheck. Hidden behind her polite smiles and graceful movements was a woman on a mission. Months ago, her older brother Ethan had vanished after blowing the whistle on one of the country's most powerful organizations. The official story? A tragic accident, an unfortunate misstep off a bridge with no body recovered. The reality? Mia didn't believe in coincidences. So here she was, undercover at one of the city's most exclusive restaurants. The Mercer Club, a place where politicians, corporate moguls, and men who pulled strings in the shadows gathered. If there was a whisper of what had really happened to Ethan, it would be spoken in places like this. She had spent weeks memorizing faces, listening to murmured conversations, collecting scraps of information that never quite formed a complete picture. Frustration curled in her gut. How do you fight an enemy you can't even see? Tonight felt like another dead end. That was until he walked in, a man in his late 30s, clean-cut, but carrying the subtle tension of someone always looking over his shoulder. Logan Pierce. She recognized him from her research, a federal agent whose name was whispered in connection with operations that didn't officially exist. Mia stiffened as he took a seat in the farthest booth, his eyes sweeping the room before landing briefly on her. Something in his gaze made her pulse quicken. Not leering, not dismissive. Measuring. She turned away, forcing herself to focus. The minutes dragged, and she moved between tables, but her attention never strayed far from him. His posture, the way he barely touched his drink, the way his fingers tapped against the polished wood, waiting for something. Then it happened. As she passed by his table, he moved with the precision of someone trained, quick, deliberate. His fingers brushed against the tray she balanced, and in that fleeting moment, a small folded note slipped beneath the napkin. Mia nearly missed a step. She forced herself to keep walking, her heart hammering against her ribs. A mistake? A message meant for someone else? She reached the service hallway and ducked out of sight, breath shallow as she unfolded the note. They know. Leave now. Her blood ran cold. She read it again, as if the words might change. Who was they? And how did this man, Logan Pierce, know about her before she could process? The restaurant's entrance chimed again. 2 men in dark suits stepped inside. They didn't wait to be seated. Their eyes moved with purpose, scanning the room with quiet efficiency. Mia instinctively shrank against the wall, pulse roaring in her ears. They were looking for someone. Her. She tucked the note into her apron, forcing herself to walk calmly back into the main floor. The men were now near the bar, speaking in low tones with the host. One of them, square jaw, unreadable expression, tilted his head in her direction. Mia kept moving. She set down a drink, cleared a plate, tried to breathe normally, but every step, every motion felt watched. She turned slightly, searching for Logan's table. Empty. He was gone. The realization sent another wave of unease through her. He had warned her, then disappeared. And now, these men, whoever they were here. She needed to leave. Mia pivoted toward the back hallway, keeping her head down. She could hear her own heartbeat, feel the sweat prickling at the base of her neck. Each step toward the exit felt like a lifetime. Then, her phone vibrated. She hesitated, but pulled it from her pocket. Unknown number. A text. Do not go outside. A fresh wave of fear gripped her. Mia swallowed hard and forced herself to look toward the front entrance. Through the tall windows, she spotted another figure standing across the street. A man in a dark coat, barely visible under the dim streetlights. Watching. She was trapped. The phone buzzed again. Go through the kitchen. I'll find you. Mia clenched her jaw, debating whether to trust a message. But the alternative? Walking out the front door into the hands of men who were clearly waiting for her? No choice. She spun on her heel and slipped through the kitchen's swinging doors. Steam hissed from industrial stoves. Cooks barked orders. Dishes clattered. The familiar chaos masked her movements as she weaved through the staff. Her hand pushed against the emergency exit bar. The cold night air rushed over her skin as she slipped outside into the alleyway. Silence. A distant hum of traffic. The faint scent of rain on asphalt. Then, the scrape of a shoe against pavement. Mia's breath hitched. From the shadows, a figure emerged. Logan Pierce. His face was unreadable, but his voice was sharp. We need to move. Now! Mia didn't hesitate. She followed. Behind them, the restaurant door slammed open. Footsteps. Shouts. They had been found. And Mia realized with bone-deep certainty her life would never be the same again. Mia sprinted after Logan, her breath sharp in her chest as the alley walls closed in around them. The distant shouts of their pursuers echoed to the narrow passage, growing closer. This way, Logan commanded, his voice low but urgent. She didn't hesitate. He turned sharply down a side street, pulling her into a recessed doorway just as a pair of figures rushed past the alley entrance. The moment stretched, both of them pressing into the cold brick, as Mia willed her breath to steady. Logan's gaze stayed fixed on the street, his jaw tight. Then, after a few more seconds, he murmured, "Move." They slipped into the night. The ride was silent. Logan had led her through a back entrance of a parking garage, where a nondescript black sedan waited. The city lights blurred as he navigated the streets with practiced ease. Mia's hands trembled in her lap. What just happened back there? Who were those men? Finally, she broke the silence. They were waiting for me. Logan's grip tightened on the wheel. Yes. Her stomach twisted. Who are they? A pause. The kind of people who don't like loose ends. Her throat went dry. And you? He exhaled, his expression unreadable. The only reason you're still alive. Mia turned toward him fully. You left me that note. You knew I was in danger. How? Logan's fingers tapped the wheel, his face illuminated in brief flashes as they passed streetlights. Because you've been asking the wrong questions to the wrong people. A chill ran through her. I just want to know what happened to my brother. Logan's jaw flexed. He said nothing. Mia's patience snapped. Did you know him? A muscle twitched in his cheek. Yes. Shock jolted through her. And you didn't think to tell me? Logan exhaled sharply. I thought I could protect you by staying out of it. Mia shook her head. You don't get to decide that. You knew Ethan. You knew what he was involved in. She clenched her fists. Tell me the truth. Was he? Logan cut her off. He didn't kill himself, if that's what you're asking. Mia's breath left her in a rush. She had believed it. Deep down, she had known it. But hearing it from Logan made it real. She swallowed hard. Then what happened? Logan's grip on the wheel was white-knuckled. He got too close to something he wasn't supposed to see. Mia stared at him. And what about me? Am I next? Logan glanced at her. Not if I can help it. The weight of the words settled between them. Mia turned to the window, her mind racing. She was in deeper than she ever imagined, and there was no turning back. They reached a safe house, an old apartment on the outskirts of the city. Logan checked the perimeter before ushering her inside. The space was stark. A couch, a table, some scattered files. The scent of stale coffee lingered. Mia folded her arms. How long have you been hiding out here? Logan ignored the question. You need to stay put. They'll be watching for you. Mia bristled. You expect me to just sit here? He leveled her with a look. You want to end up like your brother? Silence stretched. Mia's fists clenched. I want justice. Logan's expression darkened. Justice won't bring him back. Mia's eyes burned. No, but the truth might. Logan hesitated. Then, finally, he sighed. Get some rest. We'll talk in the morning. Mia didn't move. Trusting him was a risk, but it might be her only chance at the answers she sought. And deep down, she knew this was just the beginning. The night was restless. Mia lay on the worn-out couch, staring at the cracked ceiling, every nerve in her body thrumming with anticipation. Logan had given her a place to hide, but he hadn't given her answers. Her brother didn't kill himself. That truth alone had shattered everything. But now she needed more. Who killed him? Why? She wouldn't just sit here and wait. Sliding silently off the couch, Mia crept toward the desk where Logan had left his files. The dim glow of the streetlights illuminated scattered documents, some redacted, others marked with Ethan's name. Her breath caught as she spotted something familiar, a photograph. Ethan, standing next to Logan. Her pulse pounded in her ears. Logan hadn't just known Ethan. They had worked together. The floor creaked behind her. You shouldn't be looking at that. Mia spun around. Logan stood in the doorway, his expression unreadable. Why didn't you tell me? She demanded, holding up the photograph. Logan sighed, stepping further into the room. Because I knew what you'd do. Mia's heart hammered. What? Fight for the truth. His jaw clenched. Get yourself killed. She shoved the photo toward him. You were his friend. You owed him the truth. Logan exhaled. Mia, Ethan was part of something dangerous. She stiffened. And so are you. His silence was answer enough. Mia's fists clenched. Tell me everything. Logan studied her, then nodded toward the couch. Sit. She didn't. He sighed and ran a hand through his hair. Ethan was investigating a government leak. He thought someone inside was selling classified intel to an unknown buyer. Mia's stomach twisted. And Logan's gaze darkened. He found proof. Too much proof. A chill ran through her. And they killed him for it. Logan nodded. And now they know you're looking. Mia swallowed hard. Who's they? Logan hesitated. I don't know exactly who's at the top, but I know someone who does. Mia's breath hitched. Then take me to them. Logan's lips pressed into a thin line. It won't be safe. Mia met his gaze. It hasn't been safe since the moment Ethan died. A long pause. Then Logan nodded. Let's finish what he started. The plan was simple. Get in. Get the information. Get out. Logan drove them to an abandoned warehouse on the docks. Mia's pulse thrummed as they approached, her eyes scanning the darkness for threats. Inside, a single man waited. Mid-40s, sharp features, the kind of person who never truly seemed at ease. Logan, the man greeted, his voice smooth but wary. His gaze flickered to Mia. You must be Ethan's sister. Mia nodded. And you are? The man smirked. The last person your brother trusted before he died. Mia's stomach twisted. Then prove it. The man's smirk faded. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a flash drive. This is what Ethan died for. Mia hesitated before taking it. What's on it? Names, dates, accounts. His expression hardened. Enough to bury the people responsible. Mia tightened her grip on the drive. Logan shifted. Then why are you still alive? The man's smirk returned. Because I know how to play the game. Before Mia could respond, the door behind them burst open. Shouts. Heavy boots. They'd been followed. Logan reacted instantly, pulling Mia behind cover as gunfire erupted. Mia's breath was ragged as she clutched the flash drive. This was it. The truth. Ethan's truth. Logan fired back, his expression cold and calculating. The man who had given them the drive was already gone. Mia's chest tightened. They weren't going to make it out of here alive. Then Logan did something reckless. He grabbed her wrist. Run. She hesitated. Logan. His grip tightened. Run, Mia. She ran. The night air burned her lungs as she sprinted toward the car. Behind her, Logan's footsteps were close, but the gunfire didn't stop. Mia dove into the passenger seat, fumbling to start the engine. Logan barely made it in before she hit the gas. The car roared forward. Bullets ricocheted off the pavement. But Mia didn't stop, not until the warehouse was just a memory in the rearview mirror. Silence filled the car, save for their ragged breaths. Logan exhaled. That was close. Mia's grip tightened on the wheel. Too close. She looked at him. They'll keep coming. Logan nodded. Then we hit first. Mia's fingers curled around the flash drive. Ethan's truth. Their next move had to count. This wasn't over. Not until justice was served.